RCTP, Beginner to 512, Fundamentals 2, Rock Climbing Basic Formula. Have you ever wondered, okay, what would be a rock climbing formula and what would be like the main variables that I need to work on in order to get stronger? Well, I've come up with this. The first part is to increase your grip strength. The second part is to lower your body fat percentage. And the third one is to get one-on-one coaching. Workable means climbing at a level where you're just shy of making the move. With practice, you'll get it. Routes are challenging, but not impossible. It's a very key term to learn because if you're not really climbing at a workable range, you're not going to progress and get better. If you're always just shy and you're always able to flash everything, you're not really training to get better at rock climbing. What you're training to do is to add to your stamina. Let's talk about grip strength. The very first thing that I notice whenever I meet a pro is that their fingers are like 2 to 3 times as thick as mine are. So if you're looking for the main muscle to work to in order to get better at rock climbing, I would say fingertip strength, and then second would be forearm strength. The other thing I notice with really pro or just elite climbers is that their forearms are again 2 to 3 times the thickness of mine. And we kind of look like Popeye. It's kind of odd and out of place. You can notice here in this picture on the right is my friend Fab, and he's an endomorph. His forearm is huge. And then on the left is my forearm, and it's not exactly puny, but it's not exactly big.
So at the beginner to about all the way up to a 511D, 512 level, really the best thing for you to do is to quote unquote climb more. I know that's maybe not what you wanted to hear, but that really is the best way to build up your finger strength. So say you're like, you know what, I still want something. How do I start building up my grip strength? Well, what I've found is the best way to do this is just to grab a towel, put it around a weight, and to practice lifting up and down. This has been very beneficial for me. I used to do this just like on lunch breaks at work. I know. I've also tried something like this where you have like these types of hand grip squeezes. I didn't really find that this was that useful, but so I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend just getting a towel and a weight instead. So let's say, you still want more. Well, one thing that you might not notice about a lot of rock climbers is that they normally also have very large forearms. They kind of look like Popeye. So my forearms are a little small, and I know that I need to work on it. But let's just show you what you can do to work on your forearms. So one thing you might see at a lot of gyms is that people have a weight like this that's offset, and all you need to do really is just rotate this weight around, something as simple like this. Another exercise that I've found to be very useful for building up your forearm strength is reverse grip curls. So just grab a bar, lift up. Okay. And a third one, again, that I have found useful for grip strength is to grab a weight like this. You just twist and roll it up, and you can roll it down. But make sure that you flip it both ways, rotate it around, and then do the same thing again to lift it up and to lower it down.
Once you make it to the 512 level and beyond, in order to increase your grip strength, you're going to need to start including some specific training. We'll get to this when we get to 512s. I want to talk about body fat percentage. Here I am about 10 years ago, and I weighed 185 pounds or 84 kilos, and my body fat percentage was around 25%, and the hardest that I've ever climbed was a 510C. What I noticed at this time is I had a rock climbing partner, and him and I started neck and neck, about the same levels, and then he started to peel away from me. So he is an ectomorph. His body fat percentage, I think he only weighed max 156 pounds. So he just started peeling away and going faster and faster. So I started to get a little bit jealous, and then I started to do this to my body. Over time, I lost about 40 pounds, going to about 65 kilos. My body fat percentage dropped down to 9%. Now, what happened here was that a lot of friends, a lot of family, and a lot of coworkers were starting to get concerned with how low I was going. And all of this was just to get better at rock climbing. Now, I understand what it feels like to drop your body fat percentage down, because losing about 5 to 10 pounds was like a significant performance gain on the wall. It was addicting, okay? Like I just kept wanting to do it. Every like 10 pounds I lost, I'm like, so this is what skinny people have felt their whole life. Like this is awesome. But if you look at my climbing level, I was able to climb a V6 or a 511D. The main reason for this was that I was really only training bouldering, and I could kind of only make it up to the top of a boulder wall. When I was on a rope route, by the third clip, I kind of was like, huh, is the climb over already? Like this is really far. And the main reason for that probably was that I wasn't eating enough. I didn't have enough energy in me, and I was also only training bouldering. And now I weigh 167 pounds or 76 kilos. My body fat percentage is at 15%, and I'm a 512A climber. Now this is mostly because I've increased my grip strength. So I don't need to weigh as little in order to climb as strong. And the other part is that I'm also a lot happier and healthier now climbing at this range. So I wanted to make it clear that you don't need to drop to a really low body fat percentage in order to climb a 512. However, you also need to be not in an overweight body type class. So that's what I was when I weighed 185 pounds. I needed to drop down a little bit of weight, but not a lot of weight. Eating disorders and striving for progression in rock climbing can unfortunately be fairly common. So if you're interested in reading more about this topic, I've included a link in the description of this video to an article in Climbing Magazine. Now, to enter into 512, you need to be in about the fitness level of body fat percentage. So for males, this is about 15%, and for females, this is 24% body fat. I've gotten this number by using a SMART scale, which uses a BIA or bioelectric impedance analysis. It runs a small current through your body, and then it puts it through an algorithm and determines out levels. I've also run this for a male and female, so this is for me and the other on the left, and Renee, my rock climbing partner, on the right. I just wanted to show both males and females at this level. So one thing that I want you guys to notice is that I'm a mesomorph, and my body fat percentage is like just entering that fitness range for men. And Renee is an ectomorph mesomorph blend, and she's in the athlete level, like girl be awesome, so that's why. The other thing that I wanted to mention about the scale that I'm using is that it's a SMART scale, and I have the ability to flip a little switch on an app that says move it into athlete mode. And this is kind of important because if I wasn't in an athlete mode, my body fat percentage would say I'm like 23% body fat, which I know I'm not. So it has to switch its algorithm that it's using in order to get us to a proper body fat percentage.
With increasing your grip and finger strength and decreasing your body fat percentage, certain moves start to become workable. This will allow you to learn technique, and over time you'll be able to polish this technique and make those moves look effortless.
How do you lower your body fat percentage? This is the age-old equation of calories in to calories out. So what's a great way to do this? To track your calories in, there's apps for it. My app that I use is MyFitnessPal. I use it for about a month or two. I started to get a feel for what my portion sizes needed to be and what the nutrition values of the food that I was eating were. After that 2-month period, I kind of got a hang of it, and then I don't really need the app anymore. I know when I'm on track versus I know when I'm not on track. And then to track your calories out, you can wear a fitness wearable tracker. So again, I used a Fitbit for about a month or two. I got used to the levels of calories I was burning per my exercises. And then after that 2 months, I know exactly how much it is. And the great part is sometimes you can get a fitness tracker that will sync with your calorie counting app. And then that way you can also just measure if you're eating the right amount of calories based on your fitness level. The other thing I want to mention with this is that diet is paramount, guys. You can't just think that I'm just going to exercise more and not really change my eating habits and I'll lose weight. No, if you're going to start to get into and become more of an athlete, you need to really be thinking about that. Diet is almost just as important as is exercising and is sleeping. One-on-one coaching. If you guys get coaching, you'll see some serious performance gains. So just to put it lightly, I took a friend who his max was top roping a 510A, and I got him to leading an 11C within 4 to 5 months of climbing. So, if you have the ability to find a coach, get a coach. So how do you do this as a beginner? A great way to do this as a beginner is to start bouldering at a gym. What will naturally happen is some stronger climbers might, come over and say, hey, I see you struggling on that. Would you like some help? I know I do this all the time. I offer help to beginners, but first I check out if they want help or not. But just letting you know that exists. The other thing is to become friends with regular climbers that are stronger than you. So a way you do this is like, let's say you go to the gym every Tuesday or every Thursday, and you start going between like 6 to 9 all the time. What you might start noticing is that other climbers do the exact same schedule, and they're always climbing around you. And after a while, you might just say, hey, do some icebreakers, get to know them, and then you can start to ask them some questions. At the intermediate level, you want to start to ask specific questions to stronger climbers. So if I'm working a route or a boulder problem and I can't really make it past one section, and I know of like some stronger climbers that I've talked to and they're at the gym, I'll like walk up to them and be like, hey, have you ever climbed that blue route over there? And do you know how to make it past that like fourth clip, or do you know how to make it past that like one like little small crimp over that edge? And they normally help me out. So don't be afraid to walk up to stronger climbers and ask them questions. One-on-one coaching at the advanced level. So find a training program at your local gym. Renee, Fab, and I all have signed up for a training program at one of our local gyms, and it's fantastic. We're already seeing huge gains. Renee just recently this week climbed her first V7, and we've only been in the program for 3 weeks. And just as a disclaimer, I'm not going to use any of their materials in this program. I kind of think that that'd be, disrespectful to take what they're using and put it in here. However, what I wanted to say to you guys is, support your local climbers, support your local gym, find a training program, and pay for it, show up. It's worth it. They teach you a lot, and it's awesome. And finally, if that wasn't enough for you, if you want to know a great secret to progressing faster, the best way to do it is to get a job where you have to use your hands all day. When you're using your hands all day and doing physical labor, you can drastically increase your grip strength, and as well, because you're doing physical labor, you'll lower your body fat percentage. And then if you do specific training program at the gym, you're now maximizing that rock climbing formula, and you'll like achieve greatness. So just keep going, keep doing it. An example of jobs that you can get, which I know that some people did in university, were like bike mechanics or landscaping, and all those guys were working outside or working with tools all day long, and I just got jealous because I'm in a research lab and all I'm doing is like doing little pipettes and stuff, and it's not really the same. But if you want to progress faster, get a job where you use your hands all day long.